WTO really means the members. So it's a member-driven organization. It's the members who decide what the priorities are in going forward on intellectual property. And the members have launched a program, a work program on intellectual property. This is a part of the Doha Development Agenda or the Doha Round of Negotiations. And there are two subjects that are part of the IP agenda. One is geographical indications and the other is biodiversity. These are the two broad themes. On geographical indications, there are two sub-themes. One is the establishment of a multilateral register for wines and spirits, and the other is to extend the higher level of protection given only to wines and spirits in the TRIPS agreement to products other than wines and spirits. So this is the second theme under geographical indications. There are nuances about the mandate, as is also with the other subject, which is the relationship between the TRIPS agreement and the Convention on Biological Diversity. This is a subject of interest to developing countries. They've put it on the agenda and they have some specific proposals to amend the TRIPS agreement. The geographical indications issue is not so much developing versus developed, because in both the proponents of these two proposals, these two sub-themes that I talked about, as well as the opponents, there's a mix of both developed and developing countries. So that isn't really divided along north-south lines. But the other subject, which is biodiversity, protection of traditional knowledge and so on, that subject is clearly divided on north-south lines, except that there's been an alliance, recent alliance I would say, it's a couple of years old, between the Friends of Geographical Indications and the Friends of this proposal on biodiversity. So again, it's got mixed up a little because the European Union and Switzerland are the two big developed countries, and Norway also, that are supporting the biodiversity proposal. And I must also mention that these subjects are being discussed in other forums, not just the WTO. So it's also the subject of a recent treaty, a protocol that was signed in Nagoya in Japan under the auspices of the Convention on Biological Diversity. That's made some difference to the debate that is going on in the TRIPS agreement, in the WTO. And then there is another committee which deals with all these issues in the World Intellectual Property Organization. So there are different forums which are discussing basically similar issues. The proposal by developing countries on the issue of the relationship between the TRIPS agreement and the CBD, that is the Convention on Biological Diversity, is quite precise. What they are asking for is an amendment to the TRIPS agreement to include an obligation on patent applicants to disclose the country of origin in their patent applications if the invention which is covered by the patent application is based on the use of biological resources or is based on traditional knowledge. So all they want is disclosure of the country of origin, if that is known, or of the source from where the biological materials or the traditional knowledge has been taken. And they call this a transparency proposal. They would also like to see evidence of prior informed consent and benefit sharing to be disclosed at the time of the patent application. The other side, the opposition, led really mainly by the United States and its fellow travelers, they say this is really not the way to do it. I mean, while the objective is laudable and they don't have any problems with actually implementing the Convention on Biological, or anybody else implementing the Convention on Biological Diversity, they don't think that this implementation should be done through the patent system. They think it's inappropriate, it's unnecessary, and it has undesirable effects on the patent system. So that's to sum up the two sides.